Hello everyone, a very warm good morning. As you can see, today I am going to teach very beautiful, wonderful and touching poem, Leave This Chanting and Singing by Rabindranath Tagore. Before reading the first stanza or second, third, fourth stanza, it is necessary to know about the poet. As I have mentioned here, named Rabindranath Tagore, he is also known as the Bard of Bengal and Gurudev. He was born on May 7, 1861 in Calcutta. He was from India. He was an Indian poet. While talking about his profession, he was a very good poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, painter, and most importantly, he was a social reformer. He had done many work in the society to reform or to improve the societies. Therefore, he is also called a social reformer. Similarly, when you talk about the notable work, Gitanjali is considered as his notable work, for which he won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913. He is also the author of the national anthem of India and Bangladesh. He died on August 7, 1941 in Calcutta. While talking about this beautiful poem, Leave This Chanting and Singing, the poet argues that God is not found in temples or through rituals, but in helping people, doing good deeds, and serving humanity. Tagore also argues that true devotion to God is not found in isolated chanting, singing, and fasting within temple walls. Instead, he argues that he urges the devotee to go out into the real world to find God between common people, the farmer, the laborer, and the poor, who toil and struggle. The poem emphasizes that God is with those who suffer a lot. He meant to say that God is not found in temples. God does not exist in the temple. We cannot find the God in temples or rituals. Rather, we find God in helping people, doing good deeds, and serving humanities. Not only this, but also he argues that God is not found in isolated chanting, singing, and fasting within the temple walls. Instead, he urges all the devotees to go out into the real world to meet the common people like farmer, workers, struggler, etc. He also argues that God is with those people who always struggle in sun and suor. Okay? Now, let's move to the first stanza. Before reading these lines, it is necessary to know about the difficult word meanings. Like I have mentioned, chanting means reciting prayers or songs in a repetitive way. Singing means vocalizing music Telling of beads means counting prayer, beads or form of prayer. Dost thou means do you. Lonely means isolated, alone. Died means your. Thy means your. And thee means you. Okay, let me read. Leave this chanting and singing and telling of beads. Whom dost thou worship in this lonely dark corner of a temple with doers all sorts? Open thine eyes and see thy God is not before thee. Okay, before explaining these lines, let me express this image, this picture. As you can see here in this picture, someone is counting the beads to ask for the blessing from the God. Okay, someone is counting the beads to take the blessing from the God. Similarly, in the second picture, someone is praying, joining her both hands together in the dark corner of a temple to ask for blessing. According to the poet, this does not work because God does not exist in the temple. God cannot be found in the temple. How can it work? How can it work? It is impossible. Okay, now let me express these lines. In this first stanza, the poet suggests all the devotees, saying that please stop worshipping the God. Stop counting the beads. Stop praying to God. Okay? And he also raises a good question like, whom dost thou worship in this lonely dark corner of a temple with doers all sorts? He says that if God does not exist in the temple, if God cannot be found in the temple, whom do you worship in the dark corner of a temple? Whom do you worship if the God does not exist in the temple? The temple is empty with door shut. The door of the temple is closed. We cannot find the God in the temple. So whom do you worship? Stop worshipping to God. Stop counting the beads. Stop praying God. This is all the waste of time. To prove, if the devotees are praying to God in front of the temple, joining their both hands in the dark corner of the temple, at the same time, at the meantime, just try your best to open your eyes slowly. You cannot get God there. God is not before you. You cannot find the God before you because the God does not exist in the temple. I think everybody might have done this work. Okay, let me express in Nepali too. यो कवितामा कविले के भन्नुभएको छ भन्दाखेरि यो पहिलो स्टेन्जामा है कविले जति पनि भक्तजनहरू हुनुहुन्छ, श्रद्धालुजन हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँहरूलाई के सल्लाह दिनुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि पूजा गर्न बन्द गरिदिनुस् है, भगवानको लागि रुद्राक्ष गर्न बन्द गरिदिनुस्, प्रार्थना गर्न बन्द गरिदिनुस्, किनकि मन्दिरमा भगवान पाइँदैन, मन्दिरमा भगवान छैन है। उहाँले के भन्नुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि यो अध्यारो मन्दिरमा पूजा अर्चना गरेर केही हुनेवाला छैन है। जसको ढोका अलरेडी बन्द छ है, मन्दिरमा कोही पनि देखिएको छैन, मन्दिरमा पूजा किन गर्ने त? यो सबै समयको बर्बादी हो। यस्ता क्रियाकलापहरूलाई छोडिदिनुस्, आजदेखि पूजा गर्न बन्द गरिदिनुस्, प्रार्थना गर्न बन्द गरिदिनुस्, भगवानको लागि रुद्राक्ष गर्न बन्द गरिदिनुस् है। उहाँले एउटा प्रश्न पनि गर्नुभएको छ, पूजा कसलाई गर्ने त? कसलाई पूजा गर्ने जबकि मन्दिरमा कोही भगवान हुनुहुन्न, मन्दिरमा कुनै भगवान छैन, कसलाई पूजा गर्ने? ल सबै भक्तहरूलाई, श्रद्धालु जनहरूलाई उहाँले सल्लाह दिनुभएको छ, ल मन्दिरमा गएर दुईटै हात जोडेर आँखा चिम्लेर पूजा गर्नुस् र एकछिनपछि हैन प्रार्थना गरेर खोल्नुस्। के तपाईको अगाडि भगवान पाउनुहुन्छ? के तपाईले भगवान देख्नुहुन्छ? पक्कै पनि देख्नुहुन्न। त्यसैले आजदेखि पूजा अर्चना गर्न बन्द गरिदिनुस्, यो सबै समयको बर्बादी हो भनेर यो पहिलो स्टेन्जामा कविले एक्सप्रेस गर्नुभएको छ। Now let's move to the second stanza. Before expressing or before reading these lines, let me show you the difficult meanings taken from the poem. Tiller. Tiller means farmer, one who tills the land. Tilling means plowing the land. Path maker, road worker, one who makes path. Shower means rain. Garment means cloth, clothing. Dust means fine, dry particles of earth put off to remove. Holy mantle means sacred cloth or garment. Soil means earth and ground. Now let's get started to read. He is there where the tiller is tilling the hard ground, and where the path maker is breaking stones. He is with them in sun and in shore, and his garment is covered with dust. Put off thy holy mantle, and even like him come down on dusty soil. In this second stanza, the poet says that the God is with those people who always do hard labor in sun and shore. The God is with those people who are plowing the land, who are doing hard labor in the farm. As you can say in the picture, a farmer is doing hard labor in the farm. Okay? Similarly, the God is with those people who is breaking stones to make the path. Not only this, but also the God is with those people whose garment is torn, tattered while doing hard work in sun and shore. Okay? He says that God exists in the whole world, but not in a certain place like temple. Definitely, God exists in the world, but the God is with those people who always do hard work in sun and shore, in farm, like I have shown in the second picture. The God provide His blessing to those people who are in difficulties, who are poor, who always do hard labor to fulfill His needs. And He also urges all the devotees that remove your clothes, remove your clothes and go to the field to work, to do hard labor. Remove your holy clothes and go to the working field to do hard labor, to fulfill your need. Unless you do hard labor, you cannot fulfill your needs. So he suggests all the devotees not to worship, not to count the beads, not to pray to God. These all activities are the waste of time. Okay, यसलाई थोरै नेपालीमा म एक्सप्रेस गर्छु. यो सेकेन्ड स्टेन्जामा कविले के भन्नुभएको छ, के भनेको छ भन्दाखेरि भगवान त यो संसारमा पक्कै पनि हुनुहुन्छ है, तर मन्दिरमै हुनुहुन्न है. भगवान मन्दिरमै छैन, जहाँ पनि भगवान भेट्न सक्छ. भगवान जहाँ पनि छ संसारमा, र भगवान त्यो मान्छेहरूसँग छ जो दिन रात यस्तो चर्को घाममा पानीमा खेतमा काम गर्नुहुन्छ. भगवान त्यो व्यक्तिहरूसँग छ है. भगवान त्यो किसानहरूसँग छ, त्यो टिलरहरूसँग छ जो दिनभरि खेतमा हलो जोतिरहेको छ, पसिना बगाइरहेको छ, मेहनत गरिरहेको छ. भगवान उसँग छ. भगवान त्यो व्यक्तिसँग छ जो व्यक्ति दिन रात यस्तो घाममा ढुङ्गा फुकालिरहेको छ है, बाटो बनाउनको लागि ढुङ्गा फुटालिरहेको छ. भगवान उसँग छ है. भगवान आफ्नो पेट भर्नको लागि है, आफ्नो पेट भर्नको लागि जो व्यक्तिले दिन रात कडा परिश्रम गरिरहेको छ, भगवान उसँग छ. र यति मात्र होइन हैन, दिन रात मेहनत गरेर आफ्नो कपडाहरू फोहोर पारेको छ, कपडा पुरै फोहोर फोहोरले भरेको छ है, त्यो मान्छेसँग भगवान छ. र लास्टमा अन्तिममा यो स्टेन्जाको अन्तिममा पोइटले के सल्लाह दिनुभएको छ भन्दाखेरि आउनुहोस् सबैजना आउनुहोस्, आफ्नो यो पवित्र कपडा फुकाल्नुहोस्, हटाउनुहोस् र काम गर्न सुरु गर्नुहोस्. आफ्नो आफ्नो फिल्डमा जानुहोस्, वर्किङ फिल्डमा जानुहोस्, कहाँ कहाँ काम गर्नुहुन्छ गर्नुहोस्, कडा परिश्रम गर्नुहोस्. अनि मात्र तपाईको आवश्यकता पूरा हुन्छ, तपाईको पेट भर्छ. हामीले भगवानको पूजा गरेर, प्रार्थना गरेर, भगवानको लागि माला जपेर हाम्रो पेट भर्ने छैन, हाम्रो आवश्यकता पूरा हुँदैन. त्यसैले यो सबै छोड्नुस्, यो भनेको समयको खेर हो भनेर यो दोस्रो स्टेन्जामा कविले एक्सप्रेस गर्नु भएको छ. त्यस्तै in the same way in the third stanza I have mentioned here some difficult word meaning in the third stanza. Deliverance, salvation, freedom. Master means Lord, God. Joyfully means happily, with joy. Bonds means ties, connections. Creation means the world and all living things. Bound means tied, connected. Now, let me read the third stanza. Deliverance. Where is the deliverance to be found? Our Master himself has joyfully taken upon him the bonds of creation. He is bound with us all forever. In the beginning of the third stanza, he raised a question. He raises a big question like deliverance, freedom, salvation. Where is freedom? Where is deliverance to be found? And he says that there is no any kind of freedom. There is no any kind of salvation. There is no any kind of deliverance in the world. You cannot be free. You, human being, all the devotees cannot get freedom. Because even the God is not free in the world. He is also busy with his own creation. He is fulfilling his duties. How can a poor creature, how can a human being like us is free? We cannot be free in the world. The God is bound with us forever. The God is with us forever. We can meet the God when we help others, when we do hard labor. That's why he argues that no devotees can get freedom in the world because even the God is not free. He is busy with his own work. The God is busy with his own work. So, we can say there is no freedom in the world. We cannot get freedom. We cannot get deliverance. We cannot get salvation. र यो तेस्रो स्टेन्जामा कविले के भन्नुभएको छ भन्दाखेरि है सुरुमै एउटा ठुलो क्वेशन गर्नुभएको छ डेलिभरेन्स है डेलिभरेन्स फ्रीडम मुक्ति भनेर क्वेशन गरेको छ वेयर इज दिस डेलिभरेन्स टु बी फाउन्ड यो मुक्ति कहाँ पाइन्छ त क्वेशन गरेको छ मुक्ति कहाँ पाइन्छ र मुक्ति त सधैँ छैन है हामी कसरी मुक्त हुन सक्छौं हामी कसरी फ्रीडम हुन सक्छौं है कुनै पनि डिभोटीज भक्त श्रद्धालु कसरी फ्री हुन सक्छ त है कसरी मोक्ष प्राप्ति गर्न सक्छ है जबकि भगवान यहाँ स्वयं फ्रीडम हुनुहुन्न भगवान स्वयं यहाँ फ्रीडम छैन भगवान आफ्नै सृष्टिमा हैन सृष्टिको काममा बिजी छ है भगवान त चारैतिर छ है हामीसँगै छ सदाको लागि हामीसँगै छ है जो मान्छे कडा परिश्रम गर्नुहुन्छ उहीसँग भगवान छ जहाँ पनि भगवान छ भनेर तेस्रो स्टेन्जामा एक्सप्लेन गर्नुभएको छ नाउ लेट्स मुभ टु द लास्ट स्टेन्जा stanzas 4 let me read first come out of thy meditation and leave aside thy flowers and incense what harm is there if thy clothes become tattered and stand meet him and stand by him in toil and in sweat of thy brow before explaining these lines I would like to so the difficult word meanings here meditation means deep focused thought incense means a substance that produces a fragrant smell when burnt tattered means old and torn in shreds Stain means dirty, marked. Toil means hard work. Sweat of thy brow means the sweat from one's forehead, meaning hard physical labor. Now let me express these lines. In this fourth stanza, the poet suggests all the devotees to come out of their meditation. He says that please don't do meditation for the God. Okay? Because God does not exist in the world. Come out of your meditation. Stop worshipping God. Stop praying God. Not only this, but also he suggests all the devotees not to offer the flowers and incense. He says that stop offering the flowers and incense to God, because this is the waste of money. The God does not exist in the temple. So stop offering the flowers and incense to God. And he also says that what happens if our cloth is torn? What happens if our garment is tattered? It does not make any difference to a farmer who works in sun and sugar. It does not make any difference to a laborer who always works in the field. He always works in sun and sugar. It does not make any difference. He says all the devotees that keep on doing your own job. Don't stop doing hard labor. Definitely one day God will give blessing. God provides blessing if you keep on doing your own job. If you are busy in your own job, in your own work, definitely one day God will help you. He says that when the sweat comes through your eyebrow, at that time the God meet you. At that time God meets you. When the sweat comes through your brow. यो अन्तिम स्टेन्जामा कविले के सल्लाह दिनुभएको छ भन्दाखेरि यो एकत्रित भएर मन्दिरको अगाडि पूजा अर्चना गर्न छोड्दिनुस् है। भगवानको लागि मेडिटेसन नगर्नुस् है। भगवानलाई फूल अगरबत्ती यो सबै नदेखाउनुस्, नबाल्नुस्। यो सबै पैसाको बर्बादी हो है। यो सबै नगर्नुस्। बरु उहाँले के सल्लाह दिनुहुन्छ भन्दाखेरि के भयो त यदि हाम्रो कपडा फाट्यो, काम गर्दा गर्दै मेहनत गर्दा गर्दै हाम्रो कपडा फाट्यो भने के हुन्छ त? केही फरक पर्दैन। एउटा किसानलाई केही फरक पर्दैन, एउटा कामदारलाई केही फरक पर्दैन। काम गर्दा गर्दै उसको कपडा च्यात्यो भने, उसको कपडा मैलो भयो भने, फोहोर भयो भने हैन, धुलाले ढाक्यो भने केही फरक पर्दैन है। किसानहरुको वर्करहरुको ड्युटी नै त्यही हो, गर्ने नै त्यही हो भने के फरक पर्छ र है। कविले के भन्नुहुन्छ? तपाईहरु आफ्नो काममा लागिराख्नुस् है। फाटेको कपडाले तपाईलाई केही फरक पर्दैन, बरु फाटेको त्यो कपडाले तपाईलाई सफलता दिलाउँछ। त्यो फाटेको कपडा हेरेर भगवानले आशीर्वाद दिनुहुन्छ है भनेर चाहिँ थर्ड स्टेन्जामा के अरे लास्ट स्टेन्जामा भन्नुभएको छ। अझ उहाँले के भन्नुभएको छ, यदि काम गर्दा गर्दै तिम्रो आइब्रोबाट पसिना आयो, पसिना झर्यो भने पक्कै पनि भगवान त्यहाँ भेट हुन्छ भनेर चाहिँ यो लास्ट स्टेन्जामा एक्सप्लेन गर्नुभएको छ। ओके, दिस मच फर टुडे।